Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here. Welcome to another pick a card reading with me. This week I am focusing on finances. I know finances is something that a lot of us struggle with. A lot of people find it difficult to get enough finances in and to manage and handle our finances. So I thought it would be quite good to do a pick a card around money. I have got a couple of questions written down that we're going to work through to try and help you understand why it is that you are having the financial situation that you are having, and also to help you identify opportunities that are available to you around finances. So I hope you're going to find this video useful and helpful in whatever your situation is at the moment. Just to let you know as well that these videos that I do are free. There is no money exchange needed, but if you would like to show gratitude, please do subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, comment below, and if you want to do a little bit more, there is a thanks button that you can use at the bottom to leave a donation or a tip to show gratitude for the services that I offer you. So just had to put that in there, you know what I'm saying. Just reaching for my list. So I have got 6 questions written on my list, all around money, all around helping you understand your financial situation, helping you take advantage of whatever it is that's going on around you, and just to help you be happier and content around finances. I don't have any fancy things for you to choose readings with this week. I sort of forgot that part. I was so excited about getting the reading already that I sort of neglected having things for you to choose. So we're going to do the boring way and say pick 1, 2, or 3. I mean, how do we do that? How can we just be so boring and say pick 1, 2, or 3? But anyway, that's what we're doing this week. So there are going to be 3 readings, and they are the same. They will have the same structure. They will use the same set of cards, but obviously the readings themselves will be quite different. So do whatever you need to do to find or to get to choose the reading that you need to watch today, whether that be sticking with a number that you always go to, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. You could use a pendulum, you can throw some dice if you want to. There's so many different ways that you can get to or pick the reading that works for you. If you want to watch all 3, absolutely do feel free to do that as well. And as always, I will have timestamps down below in the description of this particular video that will help you navigate the reading. So what I mean by that is, if you want to watch reading 1, I will have a timestamp for it, which means you can skip this part and go straight to the reading. And likewise for reading 2 and 3. So if you want to bypass reading number 1 and 2 to get to number 3, the timestamps will help you do that. So it's just to help you navigate and move around the video easily enough. I always do timestamps in my videos because it just makes life easier for everybody. And what else do I need to tell you? Oh, the decks that I'm going to be working with. So I am working with 2 decks today, and it is these 2 decks. I'm showing you them together because you may recognize the backs of the cards. So we have the Light Seers Tarot, which is the deck that I'm going to be working with. And this is the Sacred Creators Oracle by the same creator of the Light Seers Tarot. So you can see that the backs are similar, they are the same, they are fabulous and amazing. So those are the 2 decks that I'm going to be working with to get the readings around your financial situation. So let me stop babbling and talking and wasting your time. Let's get into reading 1, and then we will move on to the others. And as I said, you can use the timestamps in the description to navigate. So I'll see you there. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose reading number 1 as the reading for you today, as we look at your finances and we look to see what's going on with your finances. What do you need to know? What's important and significant with regards to finances for you? I'm going to give the cards a shuffle. So I'm working with the Light Seers Tarot, and I'm also working with the Sacred Creators Oracle, which is that white one over there, both from the same creator. So hopefully they have the same energy. I do find they work really, really well together. And I'm going to lay out all the cards and then I will start the reading. So I'm not giving, a huge big shuffle, and going to leave it just like that. Let's cut the deck. Okay, so we need some cards on the table, and then I will tell you what the message is that's coming through. I'm going to do that, just trying to make sure that they all fit. Oh, that's awesome. Love the colors coming through. I know the camera's still battling to focus because the lighting is not great, but it will get there, I promise. There we go. Right, that's the tarot sorted out. Let's shuffle the oracle quickly, and I'm just going to add 2 cards from the oracle deck, and then we will start. Very exciting to see what is going on with your financial situation. What is it that you need to know right here and right now with regards to finances? Okay, this is a timeless video, by the way, so if you're watching it at any time, it will be relevant and appropriate for you. There we go. Suddenly the camera is in focus. How wonderful is that? All right, let's tidy up a little bit. These 2 are together, and these 2 are together. And then we should be good to go. And now the camera's out of focus. Right, so let's have a look and see what's going on with your finances. So the first thing, whenever I do these kind of readings, the first thing I like to do is to look at what the current energy is. And this is what we're looking at here. This is the current energy of what you're dealing with, what you're going through, and what you're experiencing right now. The first card we have is the 5 of Pentacles, and that's really, when we're looking at finances, that's really the card we don't want to see. 5 of Pentacles is the card of not being part of, not having access to the things that you want and the things that you need. I do want to read, and I mean, it's such a conflict between these 2. The oracle is telling you prosperity's sisters are happiness and joy. So here we've got the card of, I'm just going to say it, poverty. Okay, it's the card of loss, the card of lack, it's the card of not having, it's the card of feeling left out, neglected, abandoned, forgotten. So when we look at your current energy of your finances, you may be suffering at the moment. You may be feeling like there isn't enough to go around. You may be struggling with your finances right now, and this oracle, which is contributing to that and sort of adding information, and it's telling you that prosperity sisters are happiness and joy. And it's so funny because that is basically saying to you that the fact that you're so focused on what you don't have means that you have no happiness and no joy in your life, which means that you are manifesting and attracting a lot more lack in your life, in your finances, than is absolutely necessary. So yes, we're not denying that there is a problem. We're not denying that there is lack, because there absolutely is. But this is Spirit sort of saying to you, yes, that is a reality, that is your situation. But if you can find other ways of having happiness and joy in your life, and not thinking that happiness and joy is only attached to finances, if you can find other places, other ways, other areas of your life to celebrate happiness and joy, you will manifest more income, more finances for yourself to overcome your challenge. So your current situation is, things are tight, things are difficult, things are hard. You are being hard on yourself about it. Okay, you're not celebrating life. You're not appreciating, enjoying, and accepting that which you already have. You're not finding a way of being okay with it, which is creating and manifesting even more drama, even more challenge, even more problems for you. Now we look at these 2 cards over here. It'll all come into, I know this sounds very harsh at the moment, but just be with me, because I think things are going to be better. Things are definitely going to be better now that I've had a look at all the cards. So what's blocking your flow? What is causing this scenario that we have over here? And this is what we've got. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Cups. Now, the 8 of Cups is the card of sort of turning your back on the situation and walking away and sort of saying, right, I recognize that this isn't working for me and I need to explore other options. We've got external validation. So friends, bear with me. And again, this is coming across as super harsh, super hard, but I think this is a message that you absolutely need to hear right now. So just stick with me as I give you this, okay? So your current situation is, things are difficult and things are hard. You don't have any happiness and joy in your life, which is contributing to the lack that you have. The block that is causing or creating this, okay, what is blocking your financial flow is the fact that you need to walk away from something. But you're not doing it because you're looking for external validation. What I mean by external validation, what Spirit means by external validation, is you're looking for people's approval of who you are, of what you're doing, of how you're doing it, of why you're doing it. And because you're looking for that external validation, you don't have the courage and the confidence to face the truth of what it is that you need to face, to find yourself, to find your expression, to find your voice. And if you can find that for yourself and find your courage and confidence to walk away without worrying about what other people are going to say, without worrying about what other people are going to think, that will help you. But because you're afraid, and I get that. I really, truly do. I get that it's not easy to just say, oh, well, that's it. I'm throwing in the towel and I'm walking away. It's not easy to do that, but it seems like it's necessary, because the longer you stay connected, involved, and in the situation you're in, the worse off it seems to be getting. So whether this is a connection with another person, and in all honesty, that's where I'm going. So this is not telling you to walk away from your job. Absolutely not. If you have a full-time employment, this is not telling you to walk away from that. This is telling you that there is a situation in your life connected to your happiness and joy, which is not feeding your soul, which is actually pulling you down, keeping you separate from the flow that you need to be experiencing in your life. And because you're so worried about other people's opinion and what other people may say about your behaviors and your actions, you're staying in a situation that you shouldn't be. You need to be walking away. And as soon as you walk away, you're going to be having that flow again that's going to be coming through in your life. All right, let's have a look at the 4 cards that we have down the bottom here. This card, and I have to giggle because, you know, we've had a really serious kind of situation outlaid in the top here, but suddenly the whole energy shifts. We've got the Sun card down the bottom here. And the Sun card is basically saying to you that you need to focus on the happiness and the joy. The Sun card is the card of happiness and joy. And this is telling you that if you can find happiness and joy in every moment of life, regardless of how much money you do or don't have, if you can learn to practice gratitude and happiness and joy for the circumstances, the situation, the people, the everything that you have in your life, you would change the energy around your finances so quickly that actually it would surprise you. So the skills that you need in your life right now are practicing gratitude, practicing celebrating and acknowledging the happiness and the joy that is in your life, because prosperity sisters are happiness and joy, and you can't have one without the other. And at the moment, you've got no happiness and joy, therefore you have no prosperity. We can see that. All right. Next, we're looking at something that you need to do. Now, it's again, I'm going to point out an interesting situation here. 8 of Cups, 8 of Wands. We've got 2 8s. 8 from a numerological point of view is movement, it's change, it's progress, it's evolution. Okay, so what it is that you need to be focusing on right now is understanding that situations are changing, circumstances in your life are changing. There are big shifts that are taking place right now. You're probably ignoring it, you're probably not aware of it, you're probably not going with the flow because you're feeling all left out, neglected, and sad. Okay, and this is Spirit saying to you, understand that when we shift this, when we move through this blockage, suddenly everything's going to be on automatic pilot, and you're going to see evolution take place in your life. You're going to see change come about so amazingly fast and so amazingly wonderful and awesome, and that you don't actually really have to do anything. And by just trusting and focusing on happiness and joy, focusing on gratitude, focusing on changing your focus within life, if you do that, you'll be amazed at how quickly your circumstances improve. Okay, because the 8 of Wands is saying to you that there's not much really that you need to be aware of. There's not much that you need to do, but you just need to be open to the flow, open to the movement, open to the opportunity. So it's important to let go of things that aren't working for you, people that aren't working for you, situations that aren't bringing you happiness and joy. We need to shift away from that. And by doing just that one activity or that one action, you're opening the door to prosperity. You're opening the door to abundance. Interesting. This is something that that you need to overcome at the moment in your life. Okay, so this is a challenge that you're not aware of. This is a situation or a problem or a something that you're not aware of in your life at the moment. And it's the Wheel of Fortune, which is a good karma card. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune says everything's in motion, everything's happening, everything's going to work out exactly as it needs to be. So what's happening here, and I'm going to bring it back to external validation, because external validation is telling you that your purpose, your reason, your outlook, the way that you're looking at life, the way that you are perceiving life, the way that you are imagining life is everything rotates, revolves around what other people think of you. You're looking for everybody around you to say, hey, well done, job well done, you're doing good. But actually, those people don't matter. Those people's opinion actually is not right for you. Those people's opinions are actually pulling you down. So you need to find a way to stand up to them, to stand confident, to stand proud, and to say, I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune, as a challenge that you're not aware of, a challenge that you need to overcome, is telling you to trust the bigger picture, to trust what the universe has in store for you. Instead of feeling neglected, forgotten, and abandoned, it's time for you to focus on gratitude, happiness, and joy, to understand that things will turn around the way that they need to when you own up to own up to the things that are truly, truly important, instead of always looking for external validation. And when you start trusting and believing in karma, in the universal law of attraction, the laws of manifestation, and all of that kind of thing, when you succumb to that, when you feed into that, it's amazing what changes it'll bring about in your life. Now, we have the Seven of Swords. So this is going to be, I'm going to call it interesting. I'm going to call it tricky. I'm going to call it a little bit peculiar and a little bit fabulous, because Seven of Swords is typically not an overly positive card, because the traditional interpretation of the Seven of Swords is about thievery and theft and, those kind of bad things that we don't participate or engage in. But my interpretation of the Seven of Swords, because I don't believe in focusing, excuse me, I don't believe in focusing on the negative. I am a forever optimist. I believe in positive. I believe in turning every single negative situation into a positive. And that's exactly what I've done with the Seven of Swords. So the story of the Seven of Swords is this person is stealing feathers, and he's stealing feathers from the birds. Okay, he hasn't asked their permission. He's not taking those feathers that are lying on the ground that the birds have already let go of. He's sort of like going up to the birds and pulling their feathers out of them. Okay, and you can see that the birds are not really happy with him. Now, the fact that the birds are on the ground means that they are distracted. It means that they are vulnerable. It means that they are easily accessible to him. So he's seen an opportunity to take feathers, which he can use to earn himself some money, or to create a thing, or to do whatever it is that he needs to do. So he has responded quickly to a situation that has presented itself, thinking about himself, thinking about how it will help him and what he can do with it. But what he hasn't thought about is the consequences, and he hasn't thought it through. So obviously the birds, you can see that one is screaming, this one's screaming, and this one looks like it's about to fly up at him. And these birds are going to attack him, okay? Because he hasn't thought this through very well. He's responded and reacted on a whim, and it's backfiring on him. So that is the interpretation of this, is that, if you do something on a whim, the chances of success reduce quite drastically. So what I want to say to you, my interpretation of the Seven of Swords, is that if you take the time to plan your moves, your activities, your actions, and I'm not talking weeks and weeks and weeks of planning, I'm talking about 5 minutes. When an opportunity presents itself, it's about, number one, acknowledging the opportunity to yourself, not anybody else, okay? We're keeping everybody else out of this. Acknowledging an opportunity, looking at it honestly and truthfully, asking yourself what are the pros and cons of taking it or not taking it, and then reacting. But it's about taking that minute to strategize, to plan, and to think it through before you jump into action. So I'm going to call this reacting spontaneously with a little bit of gumption, with a little bit of thought around what it is that you want to do, how you want to do it, etc. And not just jumping in blindly into a situation. So this message of this card for you is, there is going to be, remember we're talking about your finances here. We're talking purely around your income versus your expenditure. Financially, there is going to be an opportunity presented to you very, very soon. this opportunity is going to seem fabulous and wonderful and all of those kind of good things, but don't jump in without giving it a bit of thought, because if you do, you're going to get attacked by the birds. Okay, rather think about it and say, look, all of these birds are there. I need some of their feathers. I need what it is that they have to offer me. So what can I offer the birds so that they will easily, freely, and happily release the feathers that I need? So it's about finding that compromise, but it's about taking the minute, just a short amount of time, to think it through, to have that strategy so that you can achieve the things that you want to and the things that you need to. So all of you who chose reading number 1, let's just do a quick recap of what's going on here. Your current situation is not positive. Okay, the block that you have is that you don't want to walk away from a thing. You're sticking around, hanging around, connecting, staying connected to people because you're looking for their validation. And actually, the truth of the matter is their validation does not matter. It is not relevant, and it doesn't contribute anything to your life. Skills needed is to focus on happiness and joy. You need to turn your attention, your attitude around, to not be one of feeling sad, neglected, and hopeless, but to be full of hope, to be inspired, to be motivated, and to practice gratitude for that which you do have, even if it is only a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. You need to understand that by changing your attitude, by changing your outlook, by changing the people that you engage with, connect with, and interact with, you're immediately going to open the doors to prosperity, to progress, to evolution, to change, the change that is desperately needed in your life right now. You need to understand and believe in the universe and the laws of manifestation, the laws of attraction, and the fact that what you reap what you sow. Let me get the right words, okay? That you reap what you sow, and if you practice happiness and joy, prosperity will follow close behind. You need to take opportunities as they present themselves, but don't jump in blindly. Take a minute to think, a minute to strategize, and if you do that, you will have better outcomes and more positive end results. So friends, I am absolutely loving this for you, and I know it's a tough pill. Okay, this is a hard pill to swallow, because nobody wants to hear these hard truths of what it is that's holding you back and what's causing you to feel the way and to suffer the way that you are. But this is really a very, very positive outcome for you, but you have to do the work. So do what needs to be done. Take the opportunities as they present themselves, but don't take them blindly. Give it some thought, strategize and think about it, and make the adjustments that are necessary in order to make sure that you have the outcomes, the results that you want and that you need. All right. So friends, I hope this has helped you. I hope this has brought you a little bit of clarity around what it is that you need to do in your life. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I'd love a comment from you below as well, as if you feel inclined to do so. I do hope that you have an amazing day further, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose number 2 as the reading for you today. So I am going to give the cards just a little shuffle. I'm not going to spend too much time shuffling them because apparently I can't. Look at that, just falling apart. Let's shuffle. So friends, we're looking at your finances today. We're looking at what's going on with your financial situation. What is the blockages that you may be experiencing, and what are the opportunities that are available to you? So let's see what's going on with your finances, how we can assist and help, and how we can help to make things a little bit better. So I'm going to shuffle the cards, and then I'm going to lay them all on the table, and only once all the cards are positioned on the table will I actually start with the reading. So I'm happy with that. Let's cut the deck over there, and let's place some cards. The camera might battle to focus because of the black background, but once all the cards are positioned, it normally figures itself out. So we just have to be patient if it's a little bit blurry. Once all the colors are there, it normally fixes itself up. This is the Oracle deck. It is the Sacred Creators Oracle. So I'm just going to draw a couple of cards from this to add to our reading. So I'm not going to give it a huge big shuffle. Let's cut there. destroyed that one over there, and we're sticking one card there. And we're sticking one card there. Right. And you see, now the camera understands and everything is sort of in focus. All right, friends. So let's have a look. These two cards go together. Those two cards go together. And these four are separate down the bottom here. Okay, so when I do these kind of readings around a particular aspect of life or a particular situation, the first thing I always like to do is to check what is the current situation. So we're looking at your finances. We're looking at what is the current state of your finances, what's coming up for you with your finances, what do you need to know around your finances. So money is the question today. Money is the situation that we're looking at. So your current situation with money. We've got the Page of Swords, and I mean, I think this is just amazing. So she is walking a tightrope while reading a book, while holding on to some ideas and some light bulb moments. We can see she's got some birds flying around her. They're probably trying to, fly into her. And you can see by her hair that the wind is blowing. We've also got some wind energy happening across the bottom here. So she is juggling. She is trying to navigate so much at the same time. And you know what? She's doing okay. She's actually doing okay. She is managing, she is coping, she is handling the situation really, really well. Connected here, the oracle comes through and it says, ambush fear with your ferocious dream. I love that. Ambush fear with your ferocious dream. And that's exactly what she's doing. Her fear is falling off that tightrope. Her fear is not achieving and accomplishing and doing everything that she needs to. But she is ambushing her fear with her dream of what it is that she needs to achieve, wants to achieve, and can achieve. So what does this say around your current financial situation? Well, it's telling you that you're juggling. It's telling you that you're trying to achieve a whole lot at once. You're trying to do a whole lot at once. And it's scary, of course. But you have goals, you have dreams, and you also know how you're going to get there. So you are doing it, okay? Are you absolutely there yet? No, not yet. But are you close? Absolutely. So things are certainly looking up. Things are certainly looking better. Things are certainly improving for you, which is really, really good. So at the moment, your current financial situation is in progress. There's still a lot to do. There's still a lot to learn. You're navigating, you're juggling, you're trying to handle everything, and you're actually doing pretty okay. What is the biggest block that you need to overcome or that you need to resolve right now? And here we have the World. So the World is a major arcana card within the tarot, and this is the last of the major arcana cards. And it talks about coming full circle. It talks about seeing things through to the end. And connected to it here, we've got overrate your intuition. Overrate, and you can see we've got that eye there. Overrate your intuition, which means that you've got to learn to trust yourself. I mean, it's as simple as that. Whatever this is that you're navigating, whatever it is this tightrope is that you're walking, whatever this is that you were juggling and that you were trying to handle, you've got to see it through to the end, and you've got to start trusting yourself, because you probably have the tendency to get to 90% of the way through a project or through a circumstance situation, and then suddenly things look like they're going to go wrong, and before you actually complete, you bail out. So this is telling you a block that you have is seeing things through to the end and trusting your own gut instincts. Because, and actually I'm going to change it, because I'm hearing right now, it's not about trusting your intuition. It's about listening to your doubt, listening to your insecurities, listening to your fears, and letting them guide you, thinking that that is your intuition, whereas your intuition lies just underneath fear. That's where, so this is where your fear is. Intuition is just there. But you're allowing fear to be the driving factor here. So your biggest block when it comes to finances is seeing things through to the end and letting your fear drive you instead of trusting your intuition. Okay, so that is in a nutshell. In a nutshell, very short, very sweet, and to the point, what your current financial situation is. So we've got 4 amazing cards across the bottom here, which are going to give us additional information that we need right now. So what we're going to look at here is this juggling act. I mean, and to me, this is like the most important thing here, this juggling act. And I'm going to point out that our first card is walking a tightrope, juggling, handling, navigating, doing more than one. And our last card is almost a similar kind of energy. First of all, they're both looking in that direction. Okay, they're both looking towards the future. Here we have somebody who is balancing on one foot, one leg, balancing while juggling, navigating, holding, balancing a huge big disc in their hands as well. So it's a similar kind of energy, but this one looks less manic. This one looks easier. It looks simpler. It looks more comfortable. Okay. So I'm going to get back to that card in a second. But what I wanted to cover here is that this is the main energy for the reading for you. This is your current situation of what you're dealing with. You need to understand that your biggest ally in handling this juggling act, handling this balancing act that you are doing with your finances, your biggest ally right now is believing in yourself, okay? And believing that the situation can improve, that the situation will improve, and that everything's going to work out exactly as it needs to. So again, going back to what I was saying here about allowing your fear to be your driving force, we need to believe in yourself. Okay, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that your dreams can come true. You need to believe that anything is possible as long as you see it through to the end and trust and believe in your intuition. Hold on to hope. Don't ever let your fear drive you away from doing what you want. Let's read that again. Ambush your fear with your ferocious dreams. Let your dreams be more powerful than your fears. Let your goals and your drive be the thing that drives you, and not let your fear make you pull away and to stop before you've accomplished and achieved everything that you need to. This is something that you need to do. So in order to take advantage of the situation around you at the moment, in order to improve your finances, in order to handle everything in a stronger, better, and more comfortable way, you need to lean on the people that support you, that love you unconditionally. Typically, that would be your family. I say the word typically, I bring that in because everybody's situation is different, and not everybody has a supportive family when it comes to finance. Sometimes our finances, are something that we want to keep very separate from our families, very, very not connected to them. So this is something that you need to do, and you need to lean on the people. So let's change it. Let's not call it family. You need to lean on the people who support you, who are there for you unconditionally, not only around finances, but specifically around finances, okay? So the people who love and support you unconditionally, the people who are your biggest cheerleaders, you need to lean on them, because they're the ones who will give you courage, give you, boost your energy, boost yourself when you're feeling despondent, when fear is starting to get too big. They are the ones that will help you to find your focus and to keep moving forward in the way that you need to in order to change or to improve your financial situation. All right. So just to come back to family, all right? When I use the word family, I don't always only reference your blood relatives, okay? Because yes, they are family, of course they are. And I do hope that you have a loving, supportive, strong family connection and bond in all areas and not just around finances. But when we're talking about money and we talk about leaning on the people, leaning on your family, what I want to say to you is sometimes your family is your bank. I'm just throwing a really random kind of thought process out. It could be your financial broker. It could be your bank. It could be your credit card. It could be your boss at work. It could be the person who loans you money when you're short on money. So whoever it is that you lean on in times of difficulty around finances, the person who helps you make good choices. So not a loan shark, okay? Not the kind of person that forces you to take loans that you can't afford to take, and it just gets your situation deeper, darker. That is not family. That is not who I am referencing. So you need to lean on the people who positively contribute to your situation, who positively assist you and help you in your situation. Those are the people that you need to lean on. Those are the people that you need to lean on to help you navigate your tightrope so that you can achieve improvement in your financial situation. Right, now that we've cleared that up, let's have a look at our next card. So the next card that we're looking at here is a challenge or something that you are needing to work through right now. And it's so interesting. It's actually quite fascinating. Seven of Cups. Now, Seven of Cups is the card of choices. It's the card of options. It's the card of decisions. It's the card of overwhelmed with choices, options, and decisions. It's telling you that there is so much that you can do. Now, look at her. Isn't she so busy? I mean, like I said to you, she's walking a tightrope. She's reading a book, learning, studying, gaining information, fighting off birds, fighting through the wind while carrying all her ideas with her. There is a lot going on, okay? And if you had to say to her, pick one, she couldn't possibly pick one, because they are all equally important in that moment, in this time. And this is exactly what you're going through. And it's difficult. It's difficult to focus and to pick just one thing when your dreams are so big, so varied, so detailed, and there's so much that you want to do, which is probably why your biggest block is seeing things to finish, seeing things to the end, because you keep jumping boat, jumping ship, quitting, stopping, moving on to something else. I'm hearing the words squirrel mentality, where you're going down this way, but then you see something else and you quickly move in a different direction. And then, so we need to stay committed. We need to stay on track, on target. But the challenge that you're facing at the moment is how to pick which one, how to pick which direction, which is the right one, which is the one that's the right one. And that is what is so overwhelming for you at the moment. And this is the biggest challenge that you have to overcome, is picking a thing, picking a direction. And especially when it comes to finances, because let's be honest, finances are really, really important. Money is really, really important. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about the volume of money. We're just talking about having enough to cover the things that you need to cover in your life. It's really, really important that you have enough. So the Seven of Cups is really saying to you that your situation at the moment is overwhelming, because it's like so much you want to do. There's so much you can do, but which one is the right one? So I am going to say to you at this point, lean on the people who support you, who love you unconditionally. Lean on them to help you, but let's remember to ambush fear with ferocious dreams, okay? With your most wildest dreams. Do not let fear stop you from achieving the things that you want to and the things that you need to. So this one, and I did mention this one a little bit earlier, saying how, they are also balancing, okay? Standing on one foot, like trying to hold something that's quite big and bulky and quite uncomfortable, trying to find their balance in moving in forward in the life and what they need to do. And this is Spirit saying to you that your life, your financial situation is always going to be a balancing act, okay? We're not getting away from this. We're not getting away from this balancing act. It is a thing that you are going to have to do for a while going forward. But I also think this is Spirit confirming for you that actually you're a balance master. You've got this all figured out. It is a little bit complicated at the moment. There's a lot going on, but actually, if you take the advice and the guidance given, you will find it to be quite cool, quite simple, quite easy to find your financial balance. But there's always going to be something that you're juggling. There's always going to be something that you're working through, something that you are working on. But it's not always going to be so scary. It's not always going to be so daunting as it may be here. But there's definitely always going to be something, some new experience or some new opportunity that you're going to be trying to work through. And you're always going to be finding that balance. And as long as you understand that life for you with regards to finances is always going to be about finding that balance. And if you spend your time on that, always believing in yourself, always believing in that you have the potential to make the impossible possible, okay? There's no limits, there's no restrictions except what your fear brings about. You need to recognize where your intuition is sitting, just below fear. So let's move fear out the way so that your intuition can grow, especially when it comes to your gut instincts around your financial situation. The decisions and the choices can be overwhelming, can be really difficult, but that's when you're going to lean on. And I think it's important for you to identify, which is why I went through this whole long explanation around what your family is. I think it's important, especially when it comes to your particular finances. I think it's important to identify, to recognize who your financial family is. Stick with them, okay? And when you stick with them, you'll be amazed at what you can do. And you will always find a way of having the balance that you need. So friends, this was very, very interesting. I do hope that this reading resonates with you. I do hope that it makes sense to you, and I do hope that it's answered some questions that you may have had. If it did, if you liked the video, please do give it a like below. that would be absolutely awesome. And of course, there's always a comment from you is always welcome and so appreciated. And I do hope that this reading just gives you the answers, the clarity, and the guidance that you need in your life right now. As always, thank you for being with me. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose reading number 3 today. So we're looking at your finances. We're looking at what is the current state of your finances. What are the things that you need to know? What are the biggest blocks that you may be experiencing financially and what you can do about it? So we've got some interesting questions that we're going to work through today. Let's shuffle the cards and place them out on the table. And then, oopsie, I can't shuffle today, apparently. I say today, but it's every day. It's all days. All right, let's do this. Let's have a look and see. I'm going to, as I said, lay out all the cards that we need, and then I will get started with your reading. I am working with the Lightseers Tarot and the Sacred Creators Oracle over there, both from the same creator. Amazing, amazing decks. Let's have a look and see. So, like I said, I'm going to lay out all the cards first. It may look a bit blurry, but because I have the black background, the camera battles to focus until there's a lot of color on the table, and then suddenly it figures the focus out. So just bear with me if it seems a little bit fuzzy at this stage. Once I have got these guys going, it will be fine. Sacred Creators, I'm not going to take a lot from this deck, just 2 cards. Place them on the table, and then we will get started to see what's going on with your finances. Okay. Cut the deck there. Card number 1 over there. You see, suddenly the camera behaves and it's all nice and clear. I don't understand it. I don't really understand the way cameras' minds work. All right, friends. So these 2 cards go together, those 2 cards go together, and these 4 are 4 different things that we need to look at. So we're looking at your financial situation at the moment. And whenever I do a reading around a particular theme or subject or whatever, I always like to ask, what is the current situation? Because if you're not honest with yourself around your current situation, you can't move towards anything different. So you need to understand your current situation as best as you can. So when I look at what's going on here, we have got the Page of Cups to indicate your current financial situation. So you might be looking at the artwork going, what's going on there? You know, what's up with that card? Why is this guy sitting here? His feet are cut off and then his feet are coming out the top. Is it a printing error? No, it's actually done on purpose. The other thing that we're going to see in that particular card, and I don't know if it's clear on camera, but is this little pig that's flying in the sky. So pigs fly, apparently. When have you ever heard that phrase? When have you ever heard people referencing flying pigs, pigs flying? And it's got to do with imagination. It's got to do with dreaming the impossible. It's got to do with having your head in the clouds a little bit. It's got to do with not being honest, real, and true to yourself. So what does this mean with regards to your current finances? The Page of Cups is saying that you are very bold. You are very daring. You are somebody who doesn't necessarily think before you react and respond. So financially, you may be okay. This is certainly not indicating a problem, although maybe it could be. But it's basically saying that you do what you want, when you want, how you want it, and you don't necessarily ponder too much around what that may mean for tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year. You are somebody who just flies by the seat of their pants. It's the phrase that comes to me. And you're somebody who thinks, well, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do now, what I need to do now, and I'll worry about the rest later. Which, you know, sometimes could be great, sometimes maybe not so great, because it could create a problem for you. Maybe people in your life will be telling you that you need to have a little bit more control or a little bit more security or a little bit more whatever, or maybe you need to just live a little, you know. The card that's connected to that says nourish the sacred feminine, and we have a moon depicted, okay? But nourish the sacred feminine. Now when I think of sacred feminine, I think of creation, I think of creativity, I think of nurturing, loving, being kind, being generous, being supportive. So, nourish the sacred feminine is basically telling you that we understand your nature. We understand that you are quite inquisitive, quite brave, quite that you don't really think too much about the logistics around what you're doing. But the sacred feminine is saying to you, you need to pay a bit more attention to your own self, nurturing and taking care of your own self, being kind and generous and supportive with your own self. Money is an aspect of your life, okay? Your finance is an aspect of your life. It's not the whole aspect. And I think you're very much aware of that. But I think what this is Spirit saying to you, that you need to be aware that when the finances are not fabulous, you are incredibly hard on yourself. When the finances are okay, you sort of really ignore yourself, because then you're really not relevant or not valid. And when the finances are fabulous, you're so busy supporting, being generous and being kind to everybody else. But through all of these three phases, the one person that you're neglecting is yourself. You're not being kind enough to yourself. You're not nourishing your finances either. It's like easy come, easy go. If I have, I have. If I don't, I don't. There's no nourishment of your finances that's coming through. You are being very generous and very supportive of handing out to everybody else, looking after everybody else, but you're not necessarily taking care of yourself. Now, I'm also noticing here with our Page of Cups, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's all these lines coming off his heart space, okay? So it's almost like his heart is bursting, because that's who he is. He's the kind of person who just always wants to give to others. He wants to supply, support, and nourish other people. But nourish the sacred feminine is really reminding you to pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your own needs, wants, and desires, and not only be fixated on everybody else around you. Okay, so current financial situation is not bad. It's not awful, but it could be. It is telling you that you need to be a little bit more mindful and a little bit more aware of what is actually happening in your life. Okay, let's have a look at these two cards. Now, these two cards are talking about the block that you have at the moment. So what is the biggest block that you need to overcome around your finances at the moment? And here we have the Eight of Pentacles. Now, it's quite interesting that we have the Eight of Pentacles, because the Eight of Pentacles is about hard work. It's about putting the effort in to learn a skill, to master a skill, to be a master at what you do. So we're talking about finances. So this is telling you that you are working incredibly hard for the money that you have. You're not just sitting back watching TV and chilling every day. You're putting the effort in. You're doing everything that you need to. You're working as hard as you possibly can so that you have enough to supply, to give, to support, to nurture everybody else. We have, and I think this is just so appropriate, we have sacred mirrors. So sacred mirrors. Now, if you think about a mirror, what does a mirror do? It reflects back to you. Whatever you put in front of the mirror, it reflects that back to you. So, and we have nourish the sacred feminine. Sacred mirror, sacred feminine. What is the key word here? Sacred. What does sacred mean? Sacred means important. Not important to everybody, important to you. So, friends, I'm going to ask you at this point to ask yourself, to take a minute to sort of ask yourself what actually matters to you. What is actually important to you? We've got to understand that you are working to support others because we've got the mirror, because we've got this, that you are just giving and giving and giving all the time. And it's wonderful and it's amazing and it's great that you're in a position where you can help others. But what is that giving back to you? What are you getting back from what it is that you are giving out? And I hear you. I can hear all your voices right now telling me that I don't want anything back. I give with an open heart. I give with an open mind. I give with an open purse. I give freely because I want to, because I get happiness and joy by giving to others. I hear you. But ultimately, we have to understand that we are not taking care of ourselves by giving so much to other people. You're the only one who is left disjointed, disconnected, discombobulated. Let's use some fancy words. And it's not right. You are putting all the effort in. You are working so hard for other people's benefit. And it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't be like that. It needs to be an equal exchange. It doesn't have to be a financial exchange, but there always needs to be an equal exchange. And the biggest block that you are having at the moment is that there is no equal exchange taking place in your life. And Spirit is saying to you, it's not fair. It's not fair. So financially, you're doing okay. It's not like you have these terrible challenges or problems, but I do think you could be doing better. And I don't mean doing better as in having more money in your bank account, but doing better as far as understanding the give and take around you and everybody else in your life. Okay. And nourishing the sacred feminine, even if you are a masculine energy watching right now, even if that's how you identify, you're going to think, oh, well, nurturing the sacred feminine is not for me. Absolutely it is. Because each one of us have a balance of masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. The feminine energies are the giving, the nurturing, the taking care of, the being supportive. So we need to nourish that side of ourselves by not only giving to others, but by giving to yourself. The mirror, give back to yourself. All right, you got it. Okay. Let's have a look down the bottom here. Okay. You know, we've got the Four of Cups. I love the colors in the Four of Cups, but the Four of Cups message is not so colorful. It's not so fabulous. The Four of Cups is the card of boredom, disinterest, disillusionment almost. The Four of Cups is the card that says, like, you know what? I don't care. Like, that's Four of Cups. It's just that big sigh and that big kind of thing of like, I don't care. Do what you like. I don't care. I don't care if they appreciate. I don't care if they value. It's that kind of energy. And this is Spirit saying to you that, you need to understand that if you have that attitude or that outlook on the way that your finances are being controlled, managed, and handled, you're going to be at a loss at the end of the day. You're going to lose out at the end of the day. You need to be conscious. You need to be aware. You need to be enthusiastic. You need to be on top of your game in order for you to not suffer financially. We are looking at finances here. We're not looking at emotions. We're not looking at feelings. We're not looking at relationships. What we're looking at here is specifically your relationship to your finances. And you're like, just, money's not important to me. And again, I'm sure each one of you are saying that to me right now as I'm talking. Like, money's not that important to me. And I get that. But money still is important, because if you don't have money, how are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to buy groceries? How are you going to put clothes on your back and on your family and on the people that matter and are important to your life? But you've sort of lost interest in that side of things. And this is Spirit saying to you, it's time to get that back. Get back on top of things, okay? Get back on top of things. Get back into having a good, positive relationship with money. Because if you love money, money will love you back. Okay, so Five of Wands. Now this is actually quite interesting, and I'm hesitating. 4, 5, 6. I just noticed that we've got an 8 there, so we'll ignore that one and a different one there. But we've got succession. Now, immediately what I get from that is understanding that there are certain steps that you have to take in order to progress, in order to move forward. When I look at this Five of Wands, now, Five of Wands is the card of chaos and conflict. This guy's fighting this guy who's trying to get there. He's trying to get there. He's pushing him down. He's like sort of trying to do something else, and he's falling, and he's like, everything's falling apart. So this is the card of chaos and conflict. But what we need to understand here with you, what this is saying to you around your finances, is that you need to stop caring what other people say. You need to stop caring about what other people are doing. Because again, when I look at all of this, you are working so hard to support others, to be kind to others, to nurture others, to nourish others, to support others. And you've got to that point of like, oh, well, you know what, I don't care. They must do what they want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do. But you always are putting other people's needs, wants, and desires before your own. And this person falling over here, that's you, okay? You're the one that's falling down. You're the one that's being trod over. You're the one that's been walked all over. And you need to stand up for yourself, and you need to turn around to everybody and say, we're not doing this anymore. We need to nurture the sacred feminine, and we need to understand the mirrors that are coming back at you. I think you need to face the challenge, face the conflict, And you need to, when people come to you with their stories and their circumstances and their situations, you need to develop tough skin and you need to stand up and say, no more. Because I can tell you honestly, financially, right here, right now, people are taking advantage of you. And I can tell you honestly, right here, right now, you're allowing it. You are allowing it. And it doesn't matter if you can afford to or not. That is absolutely not relative. What is important here is understanding the energy that we're putting into the money, the energy that we're putting into the situation. And ultimately, you are ending up in a negative situation. You are not succeeding, accomplishing, and achieving. You're not nurturing yourself in the way that you need to. All right. And again, the story gets even more interesting. Financially, what is a challenge that you need to overcome right now? That's what this card is representing. And the Six of Swords is the card of saying, I recognize my challenge. I recognize the problem. I recognize the way that I'm feeling about the challenge. And I'm just ready to walk away. I'm just ready to abandon ship. I'm ready to move. And I don't care where I go. I don't care what happens. I just need to go. Recognizing that this mirror is telling you that things are not so fabulous. And you're saying, well, you know what? That's okay. I'm ready to walk away from it. The problem with that is that we don't take the time to strategize and to think about where we're going to end up. You get to that point in your life where you think, well, I'm just going to turn my back on them and what will be will be. And I agree with that to a certain extent, but at the same time, we need to be honest and understand that whatever ultimately happens is ultimately your responsibility. And you are that person who's always going to take on the responsibility of others. So if you're not in control of what's happening, you're still the one that has to clean up and tidy up and fix up at the end of the day. So we don't want to just leave everything to chance. Okay, so a biggest challenge that you have to overcome is to distance yourself, to separate yourself from everybody else's needs, wants, and desires while still managing their needs, wants, and desires. And I know that sounds like, how on earth do we do that? I don't know how you do that, because obviously your situation is specific to you, but you will know that sometimes we just have to pull back ever so slightly. And instead of cutting people off, we need to sort of turn around and say, well, how can I help you to help yourself? What can I do to help you be better, to be more stronger, to be more confident, to be more stable, secure, etc.? Because I feel like you need to be the teacher here. Okay, so instead of just running away, because running away or turning your back on is not the answer. The answer here is guiding and helping people to be stronger within themselves so that they don't rely on you so much, because it's all getting a little bit too much. It's all getting a little bit too much. All right. So our final one that we're looking at here, and this card is almost if you take the advice and guidance that's been given to you, if you listen to what we've covered here, this is where you're going. And I think this is just so awesome. We've got the Magician card. The Magician is the master manifestator. He's the master of manifestation. He's the person, he's the one who can take a nothing and create something out of nothing. And I do believe that every single one of you who chose this particular reading, this is who you are. You are the magician. You know how to have amazing dreams, goals, and aspirations, and how to achieve them. You know how to do that. Yeah, you're a little bit bored, you're a little bit disinterested, you're a little bit like, so what at the moment? Because you don't want to deal with the conflict. You don't want to deal with the issues. So you'd rather just supply the finances instead of actually dealing with all the stuff. But you need to deal with it, but you need to deal with it in a way where you are in control, where you are setting the standards, setting the foundation, setting everything in motion, because it's who you are. It is just who you are. But understand that if you don't start taking care of yourself first, all you're doing is empowering other people to be lazy, to be weak, to be incapable of doing whatever it is that they need to do. And that is not who you are. You want to empower people to be better, stronger, healthier, happier, more successful, etc. And you have the skills to do that. So it's time for you to change the way that you look at situations. And instead of turning a blind eye, face it head on, but understand the power that you have to help them help themselves instead of just providing an easy solution all the time. Does that make sense to you? Because I feel like this particular reading is complex, and I really want you to understand the message that, we're not saying don't help people. We're not saying that at all. But financially, your situation is great. It's okay. You've got everything that you need, but you keep putting other people first, and by doing so, you are suffering, and that's not right. You should take care of yourself as well as. And the way to help other people is not by giving to them all the time, but by maybe helping them make their own, helping them have their own, helping them be their own. You got this. All right. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it answered your questions and just gave you some clarity and some insight into whatever it is that you're dealing with in life at the moment. If it did, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And as always, thank you for being with me today. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.